So picture this, a system that doesn't just crash, but actually notices it's broken, figures out what went wrong, and then fixes itself, all while you're maybe grabbing a coffee or even fast asleep. Now, this isn't some far-off sci-fi concept, it's a self-healing AI pipeline, and today we're going to break down exactly how it works.
You know that feeling, right? That awful buzz from your phone at 3 a.m.? A critical alert? Something's broken in production. But what if that alert never came? What if instead you woke up to a neat little summary report that said, hey, I found a problem last night, I took care of it, and everything's running smoothly now? That's the real promise here.
You know, what we're really talking about is a huge mindset shift. The old way is totally passive. The system fails, it logs an error, it screams for help, and then it just sits there, waiting for a human to come save it. The new way, the self-healing way, is active. The second a failure happens, it kicks off its own process to figure out what's wrong and make it right.
So let's properly introduce the villain of our story, what I like to call the 3 a.m. pipeline problem. This really gets to the heart of the issue, showing just how limited these old-school human-dependent systems really are.
I mean, think about how kind of crazy that is. The system has all the data, it knows exactly what error just happened, but it can't do anything with that information. Instead, it has to wake up a poor, tired engineer who then has to stumble to their computer and start digging through logs. There's got to be a better way.
And there is. The answer is a self-healing solution. We're not just talking about simple automation, like a script that retries a failed job. We're talking about true autonomy. It's like we're giving the pipeline a brain, one that can actually reason about its own health and take decisive action.
Okay, so let's get specific. What do we actually mean when we say self-healing? Well, it really comes down to a system that can do 4 key things all by itself. First, detect that something's wrong. Second, diagnose the root cause. Third, pick the right tool from its toolkit and use it. And fourth, this is a big one, verify that the fix actually worked.
You can really think of this as a continuous 4-step dance. First, it observes. It's constantly watching the system's vitals, logs, metrics, you name it. Then, when it sees something weird, it diagnoses. It figures out what the error means. Third, it remediates, which is just a fancy word for fixing it. And finally, it verifies, making absolutely sure the problem is gone.
All right, so we've covered the what and the why. Now for the really fun part, the how. Let's pull back the curtain and look at the actual architecture, a 5-part blueprint for building one of these things.
At the absolute core of this whole system is something called the agentic control loop. Just think of it as the engine that's always running, always watching. And it's made up of 5 key pieces, which we're about to walk through one by one.
First up, you've got the observer. This is pretty straightforward. It's the system's eyes and ears. It plugs into all your standard monitoring tools. Think Datadog, Prometheus, whatever you use, and just streams all that juicy telemetry data right to the brain.
And here is that brain, the triage agent. Now this right here is the game changer. The reason we can do this stuff now is because of how good large language models have gotten. This agent, powered by something like a GPT-4o, takes in all those error signals and makes the crucial decision. What do we do about this?
Of course, a brain isn't much use without hands, and that's where the remediation toolkit comes in. This is basically a pre-approved set of actions or tools that the agent is allowed to use. Things like retrying a task, rerouting data, rolling back a deployment, or, if it gets really stuck, escalating to a human.
So, after the agent uses one of its tools, it has to do the verification step. It reruns its checks to make sure the problem is truly solved. And once it gets the all clear, it writes everything down in an incident log. This log is crucial because it becomes the system's memory, helping it get smarter over time.
Okay, I know what some of you might be thinking. Giving this much autonomy to an AI, isn't that a little risky? And you're right to ask that. To make sure the cure isn't worse than the disease, we need some really smart rules and guardrails in place.
And this right here is the golden rule. It's the prime directive for any self-healing system. The whole point is to make things more reliable, not introduce new ways for them to break. An agent that knows its own limits and knows when to call for help is absolutely invaluable.
So let's look at a few common ways this can go wrong and how to prevent them. What if the agent gets stuck in a loop, just trying the same fix over and over? Simple, you give it a maximum attempts counter. Worried about it thinking it fixed something when it didn't? You make that verification step mandatory, no exceptions. To avoid a small problem becoming a huge one, you give the agent's tools the absolute minimum permissions they need to do their job.
And finally, to avoid those tricky false positives, you don't just check that a task completed, you verify the output is actually correct. So, we've covered the architecture and the safety rules, but what does all this theory actually look like in the real world? Let's talk about the bottom line, the actual impact these systems are having. Just look at that number, 71%. That's not a typo. A real fintech company put this in place and saw their on-call alerts drop by nearly 3/4 in the first month. That's a massive deal. It means your expert humans can stop fighting fires and start focusing on the next big thing. And it's not just about fewer interruptions. It's about speed. Blazing speed. For one logistics platform, the average time to fix an issue went from 47 minutes all the way down to just 4. That's because the agent is on the job instantly, 24/7. It doesn't need to get out of bed first.
And believe it or not, this is really just the beginning. The next wave is already on its way. We're talking about predictive healing, fixing problems before they even happen. We're going to see multi-agent systems where specialized AIs work together to solve complex issues. And for those really high-stakes situations, we'll see human-in-the-loop models, where the agent does all the work and then just proposes a fix for a human to approve with a single click.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. The next time a critical system fails, and it will, who do you really want on the job? A tired human woken up at 3 a.m. trying to remember the right command? Or a tireless agent that has the entire runbook memorized and is ready to act in milliseconds? I think the choice is becoming pretty clear.